Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sporting160EN podcast. We're on episode 152, and we've got, as always, a jam-packed episode for you. First, let me introduce you to my co-host. First, we've got the main man, Chris. How you doing today, man?
For Sporting, we solidified the fate that we could have predicted, I guess, for a while now, but it became official, so reality set in. Not a good weekend for the Modalidades, really, either, to be honest. So, from a Sporting perspective, not great. But as we were just discussing off air, the weather is turning. It's like, I feel like it's harder for me to be in a bad mood right now. So, yeah, I'm doing all right. But, yeah, we just kind of came off a rough weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking at us now. If I wore the strump, we would have completed the whole season kit. But I went with the training top instead. But
you still went with the Nike, so it's all good.
All good.
Yeah. Still this season, I suppose. But last but not least, my other co-host, Danny, man. How you doing today?
Same with Chris, bro. It was a tough weekend, I guess. You know, losing out both soccer titles or football titles to our rivals. Good win in basketball, though, with Trevante coming back. Gotta love that. Or he's been back, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's turning. The weather's turning, but the tide, I feel, is turning. You know, we got some exciting announcements today of a signing that we'll get to. So I think there's exciting times ahead.
Yep, most definitely. And last of all, if you have been around here for a good few years, you will know him as always. It is Mr. Kevin. How are you doing today, man?
Not too bad. Honestly, just ready for next season, but always great to be here with you guys. So yeah, pleasure for being on. Thank you for the invite as always.
No, that's all right, bro.
The
again,
meme himself, by the way, we gotta.
Yeah.
I can't let Kevin forget that. I finally meet him in person. He becomes a meme.
He went viral, to be fair. We'll give him credit.
Viral, yeah. A few times this year, actually.
1,000 retweets.
There you go.
Look, I don't want to bring it
shame.
Up, but the last two games I've been to, we lost to Porto and we lost to Benfica. So I'm going to stop going to matches because I've only seen one.
And we lost to Ajax.
You gotta go. Actually, the problem is you're going to too important of games. You need to go to like a Tondela game and ease back into, maybe we'll get a result.
That might be risky, though. That might be a game that we need to win, and because Kevin's there.
I'm staying in England. I'll just stay here.
No, don't do that. That's torture.
Just saying, the last game I went to, we beat Dortmund 3-1. So I'm the lucky charm. So don't worry, boys. I'll be back out again. But Danny alluded to it earlier. Let's start with the new signing. So Saint Just has joined from Mainz. I believe it was a 10 million deal, which is one of the most expensive in Sporting's history. Chris, I'll start off with you. Definitely sort of, we knew it was coming, but I don't think we knew it was going to be announced so soon. What are your overall thoughts on the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I've considered him like pretty much in my eyes. Like I was convinced that he was going to sign for Sporting just based on like how confident the news was. Right, Gord was feeding it. He's at the academy on a stealth mission during the season. He already met Amorim. Like I was pretty confident, and I feel the same way about Morita. Like we're gonna sign him. It's a done deal. It's just basically like the ink needs to dry. They need to dot the letters and stuff. But like I think it's a done deal basically. So yeah, I mean I think he's a great player. Obviously, I hope that he's not hampered at all from his injury. But if anything, I feel like basically taking a year off is never like the worst thing for players, especially with like all the fixture congestion that they deal with and stuff. Like kind of just getting a reset year. Shoulder injury. It's not like it's like a knee or anything. I'm thinking it's like less serious than that. So, I'm hoping he'll be good to go. I think he's basically fit like right now, to be honest. So yeah, it's a great deal. It's expensive, obviously. It's definitely the most expensive defender, and I bet that this is probably in the top 10, top 7 maybe all time. So I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see that speed in action. Chase down, a defender or an attacker on like a breakaway. I'm excited to see how he fits with 3 in the back, see how he adjusts. But yeah, I mean, let's hope that the price tag is worth it and that he can stay healthy.
Yeah, most definitely. Kevin, I'll come to you next. You can see all the official details on screen of fees and commission and whatever. What are your overall thoughts on the fees and on the deal itself?
Look, there's one thing that we've been used to the last few years as Sporting supporters. We always leave things to the last minute. Like that first season with Varandas, you'd have Hesse and Bolassi, that was last minute deals that seemed like panic buys. You have Slimani and Edwards, they were left to the last day. There's always action and no one ever knows what's happening. It's a breath of fresh air that we've actually got something done before the end of the season. To have it for the next one is just a good sign. And yeah, it does look a bit pricey, like 10 million, but we need to remember he comes from Bundesliga, which obviously has a bit more value than buying around Liga NOS, which we're used to. And we had Dortmund going for him as well, and apparently buying at last minute. So for a guy that's been called up to his national team, he didn't play, but he's been called up, and obviously, like, he's in the same national team if you got, for example, Van Dijk and all of them. Obviously, he's with good company, and he's been good. Like, he's getting attention from top clubs in Germany. For me, I'd much rather be paying 10 million for a guy like this, having 90% of his or 100% of his pass, and we only have to give 10% if we sell over, I think it was 12 million, what I saw on the official statement. For me, that's a good deal because you're getting someone that's proven.
Yeah, if he sold, if he hits all the objectives, right? If Sporting pays 12 million for him, and then he sold for over that amount, 12 million. Let's just say he sold for 20. Then Sporting and mine split the solidarity payment, so Sporting doesn't have to do the full. So I guess basically 5% then.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I ran out of characters, so I was like, I'm not even going to include that because it's not worth it.
It seems like a good deal, to be honest. Like, you're getting a proven player, someone that clearly is in Amorim's image. Like, he's asked for this guy clearly, and Varandas has just been, okay, we're just going to get him, and let's not mess around here. Let's reinforce straight away for next season, have a little bit of a confidence boost, reinforce the feeling to the fans that, yeah, we're taking this seriously. We're looking to bounce back. And from what I hear from German supporters, the main issue seems to be his injuries. He's had surgery on that shoulder, so apparently that's been fixed for the future. There shouldn't be many issues around that. And apparently his ability on 1v1. But we know Amorim. He's good when it comes to coaching. We've seen what he's done with Matheus Reis, for example. I have no issues with that sort of little characteristic. It's just him picking his moments, and he's been good with Inácio, with Matheus Reis. I'm happy with the signing. I'm just happy that we're going for a man. We're getting him straight away. There's a strategy to this. And look, for a guy of this stature who is going to give us a lot on the pitch, hell, we'd have paid 50 million if we had to for him. As long as we're doing the right things, we've got the money now. We're financially more stable. Let's go for it. It's more of this. We need more of these signings if we want to be serious and we want to actually give Porto something about the title next season, a more serious contention to the end. I don't think Porto will be able to compete with this in the way that their financial fair play is going. I don't think they have the finances to pull off a deal like this. I'm happy with it personally. I don't know what you guys think, but if we have more signings with this intention, I'll be more than happy for next season.
Yeah, spot on, really. Last one, least, Danny, what are your overall thoughts? And what are your thoughts on Varandas' fit there? What are your thoughts, man?
Yo, my guy is looking fresh. Let me just say, button open, the chest hair's out. He's now sporting the fucking.
His look good in that picture. I've seen him have a lot worse haircuts. I've seen him look balder. So
I love I do miss the haircut
It
when
is
the
the
pandemic
angle.
first hit, and he was like completely
shaved,
bald with the
completely
sunglasses.
shaved.
Oh, he did look so cool.
That's
I'll admit.
Top one Veranda's look. This is a close second though. This is a really close second. My only critique is he's never in green, always in blue. Amuring too. Amuring needs to wear more green. In terms of the signing, 100% what Kevin said and Christian said, spot on. Like, it's a good signing. I think the finances are actually decent on this one as well. And at least we're getting shit right out the gate. This sort of bombs the whole theory that Amorim only likes Spanish and Portuguese speaking players, or at least understanding players. So that's solid. Maybe it's evolved to Spanish, Portuguese,
If you
and
don't
English.
speak English, though, you're fucked. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because the Ghanaian kid definitely speaks English. So yeah,
Yeah, he has.
It's probably
to speak
English,
yeah.
Spanish, and Portuguese, and if
We
not,
have a third language that's
fuck
allowed
off.
now. Yeah.
But nowadays it's kind of hard to find anybody that doesn't speak English. But anyways, it's a good signing, rapid defender. I said this, I think, last pod. I'll say it again. He's to me, he's a right-sided Matheus Reis because he used to play right back in Feyenoord. So we'll see how that dynamic goes. I wonder, because again, he's right-footed. He's a right-sided defender. I wonder if this is a direct replacement to Inácio, who we'll probably get to next, who's been heavily rumored today as well to leave to United. So that would be interesting. I don't know if it's a like-for-like swap. But a good signing. I think a signing that we needed because our defense was looking thin, with Fadal barely playing and likely out, with Neto still a solid center back, but getting up there in age. I think he has another year left, if I'm not mistaken, Neto. Like we've been mentioning, Inácio might go. Matheus Reis, in my opinion, I'll still continue saying this. He's a left back. He's not a left center back. He's for us, he's the best left back we have in the club right now. Our defense was looking thin. If we can keep Inácio, I think that three in the back would be nasty because Coach would sometimes bomb forward. This guy's going to definitely bomb forward. Inácio bombs forward sometimes. So I'm excited. I think this is a good move. I'm just worried a bit because of, like everybody was saying, injuries, but I'm also worried because the pessimist in me thinks that this is a done deal so soon, because Inácio is going to leave at least by the end of next week.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to go too much more into it. I think you guys hit the nail on the head there. I think it's definitely a big signing and one that shows that like we have the intent to compete next year. Sort of also a good signing for like Champions League as well. I think, spending 10 million on one player, especially a centre back position we definitely really needed, is a good sign. And hopefully they can do that with a few more positions. Speaking of which, we'll move on to the Twitter questions now. We've only got two Twitter questions, but I'll get them up here. Kevin, I'll start off with you when I can actually load the screen. Lauren asks, aside from Morita and St. Just, what other players should we be looking to sign this summer? We've been linked to Trincao today again. And, we've been linked to Navarro as well. But, like, if I were to say a position, any position and any player, who would you go for?
I would not mind Trincao, considering we're probably not going to keep Chauvin. We're going to keep Pot. We're going to keep Edwards. We're going to have Nuno Santos probably varying between left wing, left back. I think Trincao on the right, if we can get Trincao and Edwards on that right hand side, that'd be amazing. For me, that'd be like a priority. And knowing Jorge Mendes is a bit more on our side at the moment after Vinagre could happen, and we might need to pull a few strings if we want to help Pelinha. Considering if we're going to get Morita, it's going to be Pelinha that goes. We're going to have to push that. I wouldn't mind if Trincao was something we went for. Other than that, I'd say maybe Navarro up front because Slimani's not an option anymore. And personal preference, I'd go for the left back, but I know with Vinagre obviously being 10 million that we spent on him, that's not going to happen. So we might have to just stick out with those guys. So for me, it'd be a striker and a right winger now. Main priority, considering if we get Morita and that's nailed down. For me, my priority would be Trincao, to be honest.
Yeah, Fair enough. Danny, what about you? What position and what player do you think we should be looking to sign this summer?
Agreed. A winger, player. I mean, it's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. But Sarabia, because him leaving is going to be devastating. He's rumored to go back to PSG, and PSG is actually a likely spot for him to land, like to stay, because they got rid of Di Maria. They're getting rid. Mbappe's probably leaving. Who else is leaving? There's another winger leaving as well. So Sarabia might very well stay in PSG, but the fact that he's also linked to Sevilla is also, I think he'd be a perfect fit there. And seeing as he wants minutes in the Spanish team for the World Cup, that Sevilla is also a good option. But I would love for us to keep Sarabia. If not, I'm with Kevin. Trincão. That would be perfect. A perfect replacement. So those are my two.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, what about you? Position and player?
I think that striker is still a priority for like the third or fourth straight summer. Like maybe one or two Portuguese league guys, and then one Portuguese league guy. Maybe you spend $5 million on another guy. Like some depth at the position would be nice. I don't know. I doubt that Luis Felipe's going to stick on the roster. So, yeah, I think that two strikers would be nice. And yeah, if Inacio leaves, then they still need to get another center back or two.
Yeah.
Additionally, because you're losing Fidal as well. So St. Just is one of maybe three center backs that need to be signed. So yeah, there'll be some holes. I feel like the midfield is actually the most shored up right now, to be honest. So I don't think we'll be getting anything. Definitely not a pricey midfield reinforcement. I don't see that.
Yeah, I would say
consider Morita a budget option.
Yeah, I think
even though the value keeps going up, it started at like 1.5 and now it's at like 5. So
yeah. I mean, if Morita comes in, I think midfield is fine. I think we've got, obviously, Asugu coming up as well. Obviously, he isn't ready to start by any means, but could be.
Bragantis, a reserve option, potentially Ugarte. I'm convinced. I'm actually getting more convinced that Palhinha, or one of Palhinha or Mateus, is going to actually stay. So I think that those are actually going to be decent depth in the midfield still. But Mateus needs to step his fucking game up.
I personally think both are going. Like I feel like Mateus.
But here's the interesting. And if they sell it, like I said on the last pod, it needs to be 2.
Yeah,
it could be Inacio now as the second now, Palhinha and Inacio, and I think that would probably be enough. And I think that gives more to the rumor of Emoni fighting to keep Nunes. And if Emoni fights to keep Nunes over Inacio, that's interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. But then I also look at, so Inacio is going to be for his release clause apparently to Man United for 45 million. You've got Palhinha, who Spurs apparently are willing to pay 45 million. It's like, even though we don't really need to sell him, it's money you can't really turn down. And if we get a 45 million for Palhinha and like a 40 million for Mateus Nunes, 45 million, I think they're going to take it. And I can genuinely see offers coming in from like a City for Mateus Nunes, and obviously Wolves for Palhinha or Spurs. Apparently there's going to be a bidding war between all three. I think Newcastle, Wolves and Spurs for Palhinha. So we'll have to see what's up with that one. But yeah, personally, a striker for me. But I think wingers we should be okay with the ones we got coming in. Trincão I would like to see, but I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. Paul Rodriguez asked a question. We've spoke about Trincão, and we pretty much said about Palhinha or Nunes being sold, and Inacio to be sold. This good question, Chris. Any players that you would like to see get extended playing time versus Santa Clara or start?
So there's a rumor that João Virginia is going to get his league debut.
Which Virginia, Marsa, apparently.
Marsa. I definitely want to see Marsa, bro.
Me too.
My guy's sub 17-year-olds in the Champions League games, but this guy Marsa can't steal a debut. It's crazy to me. He's been on the bench like 10 times. He can't get like a 99. He can't get a Bragança cameo of like 3 minutes. Christ.
That's true,
yeah,
though.
he better fucking play. He was probably promised minutes with the first team, and he's gonna get like maybe he'll get 45 or something. But I hope he starts. That'd be cool. The game literally doesn't matter at all. It's just a scrimmage basically. Fidal's like fighting to be fit to like get an on-field send-off. So we'll see. But yeah, I want to see Rodrigo Ribeiro play more. He's been interesting in his few minutes, so extended minutes would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's just like kind of a fun atmosphere. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Young people are playing, new people are playing, because why not?
Yeah, most definitely. Kevin, is there anyone you'd like to see start or at least come off the bench for an extended amount of time against Santa Clara?
Other than what Christian said, I'd say definitely start Bragança. Like, definitely. We need to give him at least a shot because I don't know if he's not going to want to leave this summer. The way that Amorim is always saying that he's an option, but it seems like he really isn't. If we're not thinking of giving Bragança a future at the club, I'd say bring up Matheus Fernandes from the B team. I really like him. I think he can be a good option. Marçal, I think, as well. He's definitely our best defender. And other than that, I'd say just give Tabata another game because he's been really good. I'd put him up front with Rodrigo Ribeiro and Sarabia, of course, he's going to get a send-off. And Steves. Need to give Steves a few minutes as well. That's just what I'd think. I don't think we've got anyone else that will really be involved next season. So I'd say just Ribeiro to let him get settled like immediately for next season.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Danny, anyone else that you think you deserve a start or at least extended minutes?
Just two more that wasn't mentioned. One, Sugu has to come off the bench at least for 1 minute. Not for 1 minute, but you know what I mean, for a little bit. There's another guy who we haven't seen start in a few weeks that I think really needs to prove himself, and I think a start against Santa Clara would be perfect. And that guy's Paulinho. I think give Paulinho the start, maybe get him some confidence before the next season would be nice. Let him bag a goal or two, maybe. I don't know.
Damn, bro, you're trying to start the manager, dude.
my bad. The president.
We're not champions, bro. We're not going out there with painted hair starting the team manager.
Yeah, fair enough. But to be honest, mine is just Fidal. I think I would really like to see him start and like. I think he would get a good ovation if he came off as well, because I feel like he's definitely been someone, especially last season, was absolutely solid and shown like he does love the club in social media posts and Instagram, things like that. So it'd be good for him to get a send off. Obviously, he's still fine to be fit. So hopefully even if he comes off like the last minute or comes on, for the last minute, it will be something to watch. But anyway, before we move on
to plays.
No, not a chance. I don't think so.
Sorry, one last thing. I hope Sarabia starts too, because the ovation that we're gonna give him on the 17th minute
Definitely will.
He better start at least.
Do you think it's just gonna be an ovation, or do you think it's gonna be something else also?
What else would it be?
I don't know.
So
they should announce him there. We should buy him and announce him.
There was gonna be a tribute, and I was like, a tribute? What does that mean?
God damn, bro.
Just
for him to sign for Benfica in like a few years, bro. That'd be nice.
Yeah, clap in the 17th.
I would say that.
It's fine. I don't think that's above and beyond. Because there was some people saying like, "Oh, it's a lone player." Like, chill, and like I kind of get that too. So yeah,
I get that.
A clap is nice. It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Anything excessive is kind of cringe.
And I only
Joel
say that.
Campbell, build him a statue.
Yeah, right. Of him taking off his shirt for tying against Tondela. I only say I think I froze. I'm back. I only say nothing excessive or nothing too crazy too that he's signing for Benfica is because every time on FM after this year Benfica always sign Sarabia. Always. I've had about 5 different saves. They always sign the
That's
fucker.
just
So
fucked, bro.
that's the only reason why I'm saying it.
That'd be a quality sign. And his contract is up at PSG after next year, right?
After next season, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Don't jinx us now, Danny. In 2 years' time, we're going to
I
come
hope
back
that
to
did
this.
jinx
It's going to be
us.
on Twitter.
I hope that did jinx it. Clip it up, Mystic Dan.
But anyway, to move on, we've got the last chapter of Slimani Watch, unfortunately, and that is that Slimani is not going to be a part of next year's squad.
Au revoir.
Yeah, au revoir. But yeah, Kevin, I think it's safe to say that you are quite a big Slimani fan. If you want to turn around for the camera so they can see what you have on the back of your shirt.
It's somewhere here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad decision.
We saw it. But I've spoken to Kevin over the last few years, and I think you're probably like, not like to disrespect, but like the biggest fan of us four of Slimani, I think. And say you were quite happy with the signing in January. What are your overall thoughts on the whole Slimani like case and the final resolution?
Look, Amorim has been in this sort of involvement with Mathieu before. He put him aside when he got to Sporting. Slimani, we know, is obviously quite a vocal character. Like, I don't think many people even remember this just because it's Slimani, but he did kind of push the move to Leicester a bit, and he's always been a vocal type. So, look, we're never going to know what happened behind the scenes. We are going to know that Slimani cannot do what he's done on social media and try and belittle the manager. We know that whether right or wrong, Amorim has done right by the squad by trying to protect the dressing room. And at the end of the day, Slimani's 34. This was kind of a last-minute thing. Obviously, Varandas, with the elections coming up, might have swayed it in his favour as well. We can always get a cheaper option. End of the day, Kwach can always go up if we need an option like him just to be in the box. But other than that, we more need a striker that can offer some pace up front. That is more for goals, but can go over the top more than stays in the box and links up. Because for that, we've got Paulinho. So for me, it's probably the best. Like, I don't know if Slimani is right or wrong. I do know that Amorim is doing the right thing by the squad and is trying to protect the dressing room because obviously he's not being a team player. And as long as Amorim keeps that attitude with everyone else and really does protect the dressing room, I'm more than fine with that. And yeah, it's a bit sad because it's Slimani, and obviously no one here hates him. Never has, never will. But it's just really unnecessary. Just get on with your job. Don't fight back on Twitter or Instagram. Just do your job. Get in there, prove him wrong. And you're not going to do that with Instagram posts. You're just proving Amorim right. So even if Amorim was being unfair, he's conducted himself all wrong. He's obviously got a bit of an ego about him. And look, he's probably our highest earner, second, third. We can do better. We're a future project. We're not to win now. So let's just get the next one in. Cannavaro, in my opinion, and just get this over and done with, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. I only disagree with one point, is what you say, like, we'll never know. I feel like as soon as his contract's ended, that his agent and him are just going to go all over social media and just
keep
shit on
interview
him.
coming soon.
Actually,
yeah, exactly.
You're fully right, actually.
I'm going to go to a baller and just tell
We'll see what happens. I hope that they can just offload the contract and the salary, because if we're still paying his salary next year while he's on loan somewhere and we're still paying, that's just it sucks. But then again, we're still going to be paying a lot of guys. We'll still be paying Alori. We'll still be paying Renan. We'll still be paying Bataglia. All these guys have deals through 2025, so they're not going anywhere. So it's going to be the same thing for the next 3 summers with all those guys. So Mane at least will only be on that list for 1 year, if he's on it at all.
And realistically, who's taking on that fucking contract from Slimani? Maybe the Saudis if we sell him outright, but
or we just agree to a buyout or something. That's the most likely, I feel like.
Yeah, but that's technically still paying for it, right?
Yeah, we'll just pay. We'll just pay.
It might
pay
get a
him out.
mutual termination.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
The thing that is funny about this story is obviously it came from Leon, and if you've seen in the news recently, their centre back Marcelo got suspended for farting in the locker room and laughing about it, and then his manager suspended him. Obviously, Slimani was a part of that locker room as well. So
Was he laughing at the fart?
I
Was he already
How did he
gone?
survive?
I think he was still there because that was like December or like start of January, so he would have still been there. But I think the Leon board weren't very happy with Slimani or the fans. I can't remember exactly, but I think Leon's just not in a great place right now. But I just had to share that story because it was just very funny. But yeah, in this case,
Box, they all signed like 5-6 year deals in 2020 or like 2019. And some of them
commercial is still 2024, I think.
Yeah. They signed like 5-6 year deals in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, thanks, Fernandes. That was a great move.
all I'm saying is I signed him on Football Manager for Viseu. We're in the Premier League, well, the Portuguese Premier League now. Camacho, and he is my last game we won 1-0 against Benfica, and he scored the only goal. So take that as you will.
Yo, he assisted that goal against Benfica, remember?
Yeah,
against
he did.
Sad. They went up 1-0 inside like 30 seconds and then lost like 4-1.
I think that's the only thing he's done all season, by
That's
the way.
the only thing he's done all season.
Legend.
He completely diced up, I think it was Tarat maybe. He did like a double scissors and like kind of broke his ankle a little bit, you know?
Probably broke his own ankles. He looks like he's going to fall over the ball whenever he tries anything.
Yeah, there's a good player somewhere.
Squad next year, but
good old times, eh? Camacho in this first 11.
He's still only like 22, to be fair to him.
I know, he's like 22. It's insane.
Ow.
He feels like he's been like 22 for the last 4 years, to be fair. But fair
Seems
enough.
like he's 27 and washed, but no, he's still actually quite young. Just written him off straight away.
I think Elordi is around 27, 28, though. What if I told you guys that?
Nah, he must be 30 now, surely.
No way. Maybe 29. Let's see.
Not that
93?
old.
Yeah, he's 29. Okay, he's 29. Just turned 29.
Oh, no. Why do we buy these players? What are we doing?
What we were doing was nothing at the time.
I forgot about Battaglia as well.
What
Battaglia,
we were doing was
Dumbia,
signing
Eduardo.
these players.
Battaglia. Oh, yeah, we still got this Dumbia. That should be fun to offload.
And Eduardo Enrique still.
Luis Felipe is 28.
Yeah, Ilori's on the books for 2 more seasons.
And Spara forgot as well. That was going to be probably a loose end from Chris as well.
Someone will take him, though. He wasn't that bad in the championship.
I don't think so. Middlesbrough fans at the end, I tweeted about it. Just full of hate for him.
He was good for 30% of the season.
They're chatting about him.
Yeah, but they were like on the final day.
The most positive of the comments were like, "We'll always have Blackpool away." Like, yeah, he scored a fucking late winner against Blackpool away in a season that they ended up just flaming out.
Yeah, I searched his name on the final day, and it was like there were so many of like, "Thank God I'll never have to see Spara wear a Middlesbrough shirt again." And I was like, "Oh no, it's not going well for him."
If it means anything, Kevin, we have a chance for Paulinho. Chance mean nothing, baby.
Yeah, but Paulinho is Paulinho. At least he scored against Boavista last year.
Yeah,
it's bigger than Spara's entire
this
career. Like,
true, that's a bit better than Blackpool away.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress on to the most important thing I guess we will talk about today, and that is the league table being finally decided. Porto obviously win the league, 88 points. They're Sporting's 82 at the moment. Sporting can equal their points tally if they win against Santa Clara from last year, which is 85. So Porto won. Benfica lost 1-0 in like the 95th minute, I think it was, from a goal from Zaidu. That just sealed Porto's title. Danny, what are your overall thoughts on the season and Porto's season compared to ours?
Let me just say, one thing about the game that happened this weekend.
Yeah.
I find it ridiculous that, I mean, the only reason Porto scored was because it was 0-0 for some reason. I find it, and we've said this a million times, we had Con Murphy talking about how anything under really 7 to 8 centimeters is iffy because you can always manipulate the lines. 2 centimeters offside. And that's the reason why we're not taking this.
Bro. The
That's
line
the
was
reason we're not taking this to the last
The ball wasn't on his foot.
Exactly. That's the other thing.
Bro.
2 centimeters. That is insane. Insane. Look at the size of that.
A fake 2 centimeters at that. A fake
exactly.
2 centimeters.
A fake. Even if it was real, 2 centimeters. That's ridiculous. So, anyways, but that's that. That was this season. Porto still, regardless of whatever, had a fantastic season. They went undefeated for most of it. Lost to Braga. Should have lost to on the weekend, or at the very least drawn. Drawn would have worked anyways. But it's tough. It's tough to we matched the point tally. Porto right now, I think, are at the tally that Benfica were at when they won the league in 2016. I think Rui Vitória hit 88 points. I think Sporting got 86, something like that. So Porto are looking likely to surpass that. So it's always tough to face a team like that. Sporting season overall, I think that I think that's something we should talk about too. I'll give it a B. I don't want to be too harsh on the team. I think a lot of people are calling it a failure. It's definitely not a failure. We were competitive. We competed until the very end, practically. 2 games left. I think last year we won the league with 3 games left, maybe, or 4 games, with a lot less points. Almost the same amount of losses. So I think it's a success still. We won the Supertaça. We won we retained the Campeonato de Inverno, because we're the kings of that at this point. I don't care what the record says.
Dude, 4 Taça La Liga titles. That is kind of crazy.
It must be a record of some sort.
Big.
Those early years when it was completely rigged for Benfica,
League.
I bet that André Almeida has 7, but
yeah. True. So I think overall it's not a bad season. We went to the furthest we've been in a while in the Champions League. Got pumped a few times in the Champions League, though. That's the only downside, is the amount of times we've gotten pumped. Kevin was a meme on one of them. I fucking wasted thousands of dollars on one of them as well, just to see them get pumped 5-1. We got pumped by City, pumped by fucking, who else did we get? We got pumped by Ajax twice, really. So it was tough. It was some things to. This guy has it in a.
He's got it framed.
So one of my mates from work gave it to me to troll me. Yep, forever in the photo frame. You've got the score right up there.
That's incredible.
I remember seeing that live. I was like, "That's." I put it in the group chat. Me and Kevin. I was like, "That's Kevin," and they were like, "No way." I was like, "Fully, that's Kevin."
Damn, I
Dude,
didn't
I
know
love
that you
when
had
I
done
see
that
people
until
from Twitter on this fucking
had
sports
millions of notifications.
I seen him. We met up before the game, and then we met up after the game, and I'm like, whatever, sad about it. Kevin comes up to me, he's like, "Bro, I'm a fucking meme." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're a fucking meme." He goes on Twitter, and I see the fucking thing. I'm like, "No way, this is insane." But
I was just showing it to him. It's bad enough that we just got pumped. Look at this. Oh man.
When it's modally
we went for a drink
I always
afterwards.
see someone from Twitter.
yeah.
Didn't we go for a drink afterwards, and there were just a bunch of Ajax fans came in after us, and it's just like, oh yeah, here we go.
Let me see if I can pull it up. It
What
must be
a
somewhere
night.
on my memories. But yeah, overall, I'll give us a B, man. We weren't horrible. Of course, there were some games there that we should have won, or we shouldn't have dropped points. But I mean, that's just the nature.
We just
of it,
didn't
I
have
guess.
the X factor of winning
Yeah.
late games, and we had a couple extra trip ups that I feel like we didn't have last season. That was the difference.
Exactly. We didn't have the Estrelinha this season. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people said maybe with Europe it affected it. But again, I look at our record. Okay, yes, it's more losses, but we're about to tie the same amount of points as last season with more losses. I feel even us, our style wise, we played a lot better this season and dominated a lot more this season than we did last season.
People underestimate how shit we played for large swaths of last season, but just kept churning out results. Winning 2-1 with an XG of 0.7, like that happens so many fucking times. But there's 30 some odd games, and you just gotta fucking churn through a bunch of them, and people forget that.
Hold on, guys. Drunk Danny real quick. If you can see this. Lauren, shout out Lauren. Oh, Kevin, sorry, bro. I cut you off.
Just move Mike and Echo, feeling sad in the corner.
Depressing.
Is that all Ajax fans, bro? You guys at the wrong bar.
Yeah, we were. We really were at the wrong bar. I think after when we left, they were like, good luck in the Europa League. You remember that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Those fucking assholes.
You're lucky they said that. They could have been like, you guys are finishing fourth, because that was the first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. No, that was the.
Yeah, that was the first game. Yeah, our return, because Coates and Pot weren't playing, were they? Because they were suspended. Oh, I know Coates was suspended anyway.
Pot was still injured.
Yeah, that was it. And
Yeah,
then Inacio got injured like 10 minutes in.
Like 5 minutes, yeah.
That kind of is guy for Dal and Neto, I think. So
I have nightmares.
Back line.
Sebastian Haller. I'm making flashbacks. That was bad.
Let's move on before we cause any more PTSD.
Depression session. Let's go.
Chris, overall season, what would you give a rating? Danny gave it a B, and what are your overall thoughts? You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, I think that B is fair. Maybe B plus, because I mean, I'm just assuming that we're gonna win against Santa Clara. 85 points. Like, it's obviously not the record. It's close to the record, but I mean, it's tough to say that that's like it. I mean, but at the same time, B is above average, right? And like technically C is average, right? So, I feel like B plus is fair. 86%, 87% right in between the two.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Kevin, what about you?
If we use logic here, we need to give it a B, because like 82 points gets you a title in many years. It's just frustrating, man, because
not anymore though. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's like 85, 86.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, it's obviously that Santa Clara and that Braga loss that really did it for us. But the thing is, I feel like last season we played worse, like way worse. But I feel like the teams were a lot more scared to face us. It's like we would get there and they knew that we only needed one chance and we would go and score. And they would come to us and they'd be like, we're not getting past this defense. And I feel like this season, our mentality changed a lot. And at times it seemed like we would score a goal and we just relax. And the intensity wasn't there like other seasons. And they would score like the games against Ajax and City. That just became a thing. We concede first and we crumble. And I don't know. I don't feel like we had the same. We didn't put fear in the other teams like the season before. And that just irritates me, because we can do better. I feel like we could have scored more. Our defense at times, since January, I'd say, wasn't at that level. Obviously, it's a decent season. We did what we needed to do. A couple of trophies, best Champions League. Like, it was a good season. It's just frustrating because I feel like as much as this is a young team and it's still a project in progress, and obviously last season was something no one expected, and we can't expect the same from last season. Like, that'd just be unrealistic to say that, oh yeah, we were expecting that. No one was. And this is still a good season. It's just like, could we have done a bit more? And if certain ref performances, if they didn't go a certain way, I don't know, man. I feel like we could have pushed that gap a little bit further. So it's like, I'd say it's a B, but my feelings would give it like a C, or like a C plus because it's like we could have done a bit more, in my opinion, anyway. It's just frustrating season. I feel like as much as it was good.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to be a bit more optimistic and I'm going to give it an A minus. Just because if you look from, and this is going like quite far back, but when Amorim took over, if he said to us like, right, we're going to finish second, we're going to get into round 16 of the Champions League for the first time in 10 years, and we're going to finish with 82 points, I think all of us would have said like straight away yes. And like I think this is still a project at the end of the day. We lost more games, but think about how many more injuries and how many more games you have to play. Pedro Porro missed a considerable amount of time. That's pretty much why we lost against Santa Clara, because Ricardo's guy had to come in. Inacio obviously got injured, as we mentioned, against Ajax, which probably would have stopped 5-0. You never know, but it probably would have. Pot was injured for a lot of the season as well. Paulinho at times. Like we just had so many more injuries. Coates as well. When you think about how many injuries we had, and I guess you could blame some of that on squad depth as well, not being up to scratch. But like we won 2 trophies, got to round 16 of the Champions League, especially after getting smacked in the first game 5-0. I think we all came on here and was like, okay, yeah, Champions League's over. We're not going to do it. We still had Dortmund to play, Bujic to play. And, you know, we brought it back, and like 3-1 against Dortmund shows how far we've come as a team. Like that was just an incredible performance as well. We beat Benfica 3-1 as well at the start of the season. And, you know, we were one bad refereeing decision away from beating Porto as well, 2-0 at half time. And we were one Luis Diaz goal away as well from beating Porto. So I know obviously the Santa Clara game, Benfica Braga hurts, but like all again, we have a young team. Like we don't really have that much experience in like Champions Leagues, like Inacio. This is only his second full season, you have to remember. So like, and like Coates hasn't played that much like European football, especially over the last few years. Seven like Matthews Reis, Paulinho, all of these guys not really used to playing like Champions League football and playing so many games. So I like obviously would I liked it better, of course, but for me, I think an A- is fair considering the amount again 2 trophies. And a good showing in the Champions League. I know obviously it didn't turn out too great with some of the results, but to get into round 16, I think, and like we went to the Etihad and didn't concede a single goal as well, which a lot of teams can't say this season, even though they did rotate. But like a lot of teams can't say, oh yeah, we went to the Etihad and didn't concede. So yeah, I'll give it an A- for now.
I hope it's growing pains. And it's like it's us trending in the right direction. Like obviously, like you don't get consistency over 2 seasons. You get consistency over 4 or 5, 6 seasons, right? So it's impossible to analyze. But like obviously, like a championship, a first place, a second place. Obviously, like did we play for absolutely fuck all in that 5-0 loss to Man City? Like yes. But like, did we at least reach that stage because of a brilliant performance against Dortmund? Yes. So it's like it leaves you with a feeling of like more. We could have done more. While like I feel like also like acknowledging that like good things happened to get us to this point, and we're hopefully not at our final destination yet. We're merely on the path. So I hope that it's just growing pains in the right direction. But yeah, it feels like it does feel like we left a lot on the table, but. In the end, though, it is the right direction, I guess.
And last thing, would we have beaten Juventus if UEFA wasn't rigged? Absolutely.
Did they end up coming from behind to beat Inter today? I didn't end up seeing the
No,
finals.
that I seen it was 4-2 in overtime, or an extra time.
4-2. What the?
For Inter. Let me see though.
Damn.
Finished 4-2. Yeah.
Thanks, UEFA.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We definitely, I feel like we would have beaten Juventus. But anyway.
They lost to
Yeah,
Villarreal, right?
Given them a game, at least.
Villarreal.
Villarreal, I think.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah. Let me share with our latest game, even against Portuguese, which ended in a 3-2 victory. I'll get the lineups for you now. So in goal was Adan. Defensive Reis, Coates, Inacio, Porro, and Nuno Santos, Mateus Nunes, Paulinho, Marcus Edwards, Pedro Gonçalves, and Tabata up front. By this point, the league was already decided, so there really wasn't much to play for apart from personal pride. 3-2 goals from Tabata and 2 from Sarabia, taking his total up to 20. for the season. Kevin, I'll start off with you. What are your overall thoughts on this performance? Especially with Tabata starting, and definitely a rare occurrence. Like, what was your overall thoughts?
Look, I like this system of 3 mobile forwards up front. I like Paulinho, obviously. I really like playing with Paulinho, but I think this is a good option. I think Amorim did the right decision with just exploring this way of playing a bit more, especially with Edwards and Tabata, 2 players that should be getting more game time at this moment. Also get playing Paulinho and Matheus Nunes still, because we're either or trying to get one back in form or trying to sell. So either way, it does make sense for me. But it was a decent performance. Obviously, started off very slow, conceded those 2 goals. But yeah, it just seemed like a little bit uninspired, the performance. Once Sarabia got in and got it going, obviously he's a little bit of a change in mentality. Got the result, but at the end of the day, there's not much to even say because the game's just done. The season's done. It's just playing to play. So I like Nunes. Nunes has been on his game last couple of matches, has really stepped it up. It's an opportunity to do that for guys like Matheus Nunes and Pedinha, who are either coming back from injury, not as much in form, and it's coming here and there. But yeah, I'd like to see more of Marçal, more of Bragança, these sort of players, because I see no point in playing Sarabia in this game. Like, I know we still want to win, but for the next game, yes, give him his send off. But the last 2 matches haven't really meant that much. And do we really need to be playing Matheus Reis, for example? I don't know. We could just use this opportunity to give the guys that need a few more minutes to just start this as next preseason, like we did last season when we obviously won the league, which is a bit different. But yeah, it's like it was just all right. If this was in the middle of the season, I'd be a bit more fuming because it wasn't our best performance overall.
Dude, I was gonna say that.
I see growing pains. Yeah.
This game, like right after we basically just handed them the second goal for free. I was like, it doesn't even matter, bro. Like, this game doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't even care anymore.
We'd be fuming if this had happened at Santa Clara. Even if we had won, like, we'd start going into meltdowns. Like, oh, look, we're going to lose the league because we're doing this. They're being stupid. But, yeah, they just seemed uninspired. Like, what was the point of this game? Just get the season over and done with. Let's start fresh next season. But, yeah, it's like, if I had to give this game, like, a score out of 10, it'd just be, it happened. It's just it, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Danny, what were your overall thoughts on the Portuguese game?
Yeah, a little bit of the same. Honestly, I missed most of the game, to be honest, but watched the highlights and stuff. The only thing, I'm kind of shocked that the Nasu rumors are coming out, especially after this game, given their second goal, or was it their first? It was their second. To be fair, I don't know who to blame on this goal because yes, most of the blame is Inacio, but then Coates kind of just stands there, so he gets caught flat-footed, and then Adan. I don't want to start this rhetoric because I do like Adan, but this is another little chip that barely goes over him that beats him. So
Wellington Jr. was in Superman mode in this game, though.
That is true. I think he even ended up, like, after the second goal, he, like, flicked it over a player, and then Nakajima got, like, a shot off or some shit like that. I seen that. So, and I know it's hard one-on-one. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But I don't know. There's something about Adan that's has me a little worried. I don't know. Maybe the Luis Max might actually get relegated or something, I believe. So maybe we can pick up the 2 Portuguese boys. In Max and Duarte.
Bro, he's going to Napoli for 17 million.
Who? Luis Max?
That's what there was a rumor. Oh.
From who?
I saw it yesterday. I couldn't tell you the source.
Calm down. Okay, but nonetheless, all I'm saying here is that Dunn, especially more so over the course of the season rather than this game, he's been a little sus. I think we've improved in a lot of places. I think even our defense has gotten a bit better. But Adan has been a little bit more sus as he's faced a bit more shots on target. So something, I guess, to keep an eye out, something I am a bit worried about. That goal was a stinker. But like you guys said, this game didn't matter. Like they for sure already knew the result. But it was nice the fact that we still came back. I still want to win. I still want to beat Santa Clara as well, regardless of the outcome of the season. And it was nice seeing Tabata because I thought Tabata could have played a bigger role this season. And his goal was being at the right place in the right time. But overall, from what I've seen, I didn't think Tabata had that bad of a game. Preseason we seen him play as an 8. To that game, we seen him sort of play as a striker. I think he's a good utility man to have. He's not as effective, but he's a poor man's Bruno Cesar in certain aspects, right? But nowhere near the GOAT though. Let's be real. Bruno Cesar is in a league of his own.
You saved it. You saved it.
I'm being dead serious, by the way, on that. Bruno Cesar is in a league of his own. I love Bruno Cesar. So yeah, it was a what, like you guys said, it's a whatever game. It happened, like Kevin said, it happened.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, you got any other thoughts to add on to this?
Yeah, obviously they created a bunch of chances, but I don't know how much it was of that because of like us knowing like mentally the game doesn't matter, right? Like this, like so I had a soccer. I was supposed to have a soccer game, like for this like dumb league that I'm in. 7v7, right? The other team only had like 4, so they couldn't play. So we just like scrimmaged instead, but like we got the win already because like it's considered a forfeit, right? But then we just like played after. It is almost like physically impossible to make yourself, or you have to be like a Ronaldo mental warrior to like make yourself try as hard as you would have if it was like a real game, Because like in the back of your head, you already know like doesn't matter. Like I don't want to get hurt. I'm thinking about next season, I'm thinking about the World Cup, I'm thinking about other things, like, and I feel like that's definitely what happened here a little bit. But it was incredible that Sarabia was able to pop off the bench for 20 minutes and just completely just salvage the result in its entirety. Tabata though definitely does get a shout out. I thought he was pretty good up there. Got positioned to win a header. It ended up going off the crossbar, but that was like a center forward move. So yeah, he really is a utility man. He can play like 4 or 5 positions in our team in theory. You could probably even put him at wing back if you really wanted to. I feel like he has once or twice. Yeah, I think he has like once or twice.
Oh, he has. Both sides actually.
So yeah, he is just a good guy to have around. So I hope he's on the team next year because he's definitely been one of the guys that's like being very close to the exit door multiple times. And if the right offer comes in, probably they'll not be able to say no. But yeah, I quite like him. He's been hard pressed this season to not get more opportunities, but he has made the most of the few that he's had at the very end here to prove his worth. Like he's good.
Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. I was impressed with Edwards this game as well. I thought he was very good. Nuno Santos was my man of the match as well. I think he was the man of the match the last 2 games in a row. So I mean,
with like very high goal point ratings, like in the high 7s, 8s. Legend.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped it up. We probably could have had him step up a bit earlier though. In all truth, but I think more Inacio for the mistake than Quarters. I think I agree with what you're saying, Danny, but for me, Inacio is definitely like the sort of biggest mistake which leads to the goal. And I think he's had quite a few of those moments this season. And obviously with him being linked to Man United, if he does go, I feel like he's going to have a lot more of them in a league which is definitely more competitive. It definitely has more sort of attacking threat than like a Portuguese. But yeah, that remains to be seen what happens there. But like you guys said, there was really nothing to play.
He'll still have less than Maguire.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Oh, that's a backline to fear. Oh no,
bro, Maguire couldn't even break into our 3 center backs right now.
Maguire couldn't get into our B team. Sorry, our U23 team. And they're dog shit.
Poor Maguire, man. You're overhated. But no, he is shit. I agree.
Reason.
That's true. But I do feel like sometimes he's definitely scapegoated more than other players.
He is, but there's just no way for him to be justified belonging like in a national team's top squad, a top national team squad, and like a top club captain. Like, yeah, it's just that's crazy.
But I remember there was a game where I think he played against Everton and they scored, and like it was a deflection off Maguire, which literally couldn't do nothing about. And everyone was like, "Of course it's Maguire." I was like, "What's going to do?" Like literally, he couldn't do anything. But he's a scapegoat, like the Paulinho of Manchester United. Some might say.
Yeah, you can say it. They did. Man U does have deeper problems.
Is this all you do? You just use this. You just use this podcast to fuel your Paulinho propaganda now. Pretty much.
Yeah. Danny does the opposite, and then I have to back it, put it back up, I suppose.
Last year,
Danny
I was
can't
feeling
do his
the
Staku one anymore.
Sorry,
you can't do Staku prop anymore, so you have to hate on someone.
Bro, he's gone.
I was
about him anymore.
Last year it was me doing Thiago Tomás. This year it's Sam doing Paulinho. Next season it's gonna be Chris. Who are we? Who are you?
Ruben Vinagre.
Yeah, the Vinagre. There you go.
Yeah,
it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, I haven't announced who I'll be standing yet. I have the whole summer to decide.
To be fair, I went Jovan to Slimani, so I'm just going to stay clear of standing anyone. Maybe it's Gaio. Maybe I'll get rid of him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm now an Edward stan. You know, I still love Paulinho, but he's the next guy. So hopefully he doesn't turn into shit. But like, I will say, like, obviously I do love Paulinho, but I do definitely see where people come from. But I just don't think he's the main problem, which people say. Like, I think he does have his moments where he misses sitters and stuff. But like Inacio Coates this season have been, shaky at best. So, and like I said, injuries and stuff. So it doesn't really matter to me. But just before we go off this game, quick man of the matches. Danny, who is your man of the match for this game?
Just to be different, I guess I'm going to give it to. I'll give it to Tabata.
Chris?
Yeah, I feel like Tabata is. I mean, he's gotten a 6'9". I mean, that's a pretty good score too. Anyways,
6'9" with a goal and an assist.
Yeah. That's kind of harsh, to be fair,
man. That's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Edwards has a 7'4".
Kevin, what about you,
man?
Man?
Goal point. Stingy.
For real.
Honestly, I think I might give it to Edwards. I've liked what he's done off the bench, and in this game he finally got a start. I liked his performance. Funny how none of us said Sarabia, and he's the one that won the game.
I was just about to say, yeah. No,
he only played 20 minutes, but the third goal, that's Tabata, right? Like. Yeah. You could just see that, like, if he plays the pass and he gets there, it's basically an automatic goal, right? But like, he had to play it perfectly weighted. It's not the hardest pass, right? But it's probably like a 6 out of 10 on the professional difficulty scale. And if you complete it, it's basically an auto goal. And Sarabia was right there, making the run perfectly. But it was Nuno Santos who forced the turnover, like, in their half to begin with.
Yeah. Definitely. Chris, I don't know if you have any loose ends to go over.
No, not really. Again, for like the next week, like I had the Burrow thing, which we talked about. Oh, the one thing we didn't touch on, Thiago Tomás scored a banger on Manuel Neuer.
Yes.
Any comments from anyone on that?
It was a good goal. I'll give it to him. A very good finish.
Yeah, he had 19 touches in the game, in the entire game after that. So that we saw like one of his 19 touches or two of his 19 touches.
But that's tough, bro. It's Bayern. He's not going to get a lot of touches.
No, it's tough. And they salvaged the result, too. I think they drew 2-2.
2-2.
In their survival race, that's an important point. So they'll take it. But, yeah, let's not get carried away. It's not like he fucking bossed the game and, like, they got, like, 4 chances. He did score a similar goal
like that. Last season, I think it was against Boavista, where he, like, just one-timed the top bins. It was still a tough strike to do.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yo, he got a screen from his offensive player though, a little bit, screening the goalie. Because it
Offensive
kind of like,
foul, eh?
but he was onside though, so it was clean.
Okay.
The screen was clean.
Okay, wait. Let me ask Kevin, because I'll ask everybody here, but Kevin specifically. Would you have Tiago Tomás back, or should we focus on buying Navarro and just leave Paulinho and Navarro, let's say?
Yeah, let's keep Tiago Tomás as far away from the first team for a while, please. We need someone that can score some goals. I'm not having Tiago Tomás with his 4 or 5 goals. We need someone that can actually put it in the net. I'm sorry, Danny. I'm leaving
Kevin
for you.
Kevin just got the 50 quid. I just sent him to his bank.
For real.
But no,
Yeah, 4 or 5 goals does sound about right.
That's true.
I mean,
Fair enough.
keep him at
On like
especially if they stay up, man.
7 on the high end and 2 on the low end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they stay up, I say
Get
just keep
Navarro
him
in.
there.
Yeah, also they might not
I'm
even
with you.
stay up.
I'd rather Navarro.
But the thing is, if they don't stay up, and we don't want him, he could just stay and play Bundesliga too. That's not out of the question.
Here's my thing. I don't know why we can't have Navarro, Paulinho, and Tiago Tomás.
We could,
Yeah.
but we usually hate having more than 2
I prefer
strikers on the team.
Tomás to be developing, to be honest. Or use
Yes.
Rodrigo Ribeiro as the third one. Or maybe even Tabata.
How about Pedro Mendes as maybe a third option? He has an okay season after.
So he's
He's
not
not
coming.
got a future, I don't think.
No, he's not.
don't think
He's
he
not. He's not staying at Rio Ave on a permanent. They have a 2 million option for 60%, and even if they get promoted, they won't be activating it because it's too expensive.
It's too much.
So we might
He's good
negotiate
to
another
throw up,
loan.
though.
We could loan him back, because they like him. Obviously, they want him to stay, but they can't pay for him on a permanent. So we might loan him back, but I don't think he's staying on our team. Either way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think we've got Pedro Marks coming back as well.
He's done fuck
He's
all
played
this
nothing,
season.
yeah.
He's done even worse this year than he did last. I mean, he played well last year on loan.
Yeah.
This year he did nothing.
How many games did he play for Famalicão?
3?
At
I
least
thought he's not even getting cooking because Banza.
he's not. He's negatively cooking. Pedro Marks is cooking negative amounts.
I think they bought him though, didn't they? I
No,
could have sworn they
he's on
bought him.
loan.
No,
He's
he's
on
on
loan.
loan.
All right, so here's the thing. There was a Pedro Marks over Pedro Mendes crowd, and this crowd was doing victory laps when Pedro Mendes was kind of in the mud, and Pedro Marks was kind of popping off. He scored some goals for Sporting, right? And then he had a successful loan, and they're like, we were right all along. But now it's what do you mean you were right all along? I feel like Pedro Mendes is that guy, or is it just because it's the second division? And Marks is on loan in the top flight. Is that why?
He's not a bad player.
I don't know.
As a representative of that crowd.
Which crowd are you a representative of?
Marks.
Okay, what do you have to say for yourself?
Hey man, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Is what I gotta say, bro. I'm still riding with my guy though. That's Gil Vicente loan.
Yeah, it's a top Gil Vicente team in a top flight. He just couldn't get in the team. Yeah.
And then
he was on Academic of Viseu, bro. He would have got minutes, right?
That's true. I also don't know how much of an injury it was, because there was months that he didn't even feature on the bench, so I don't know much about that.
Yeah,
but then I recall Pedro Mendes, that goal in the Europa League, bro. What a highlight! That's an amazing highlight to have.
And he wasn't even registered. Why do we do this? That's the most Sporting thing that we've done, and there's millions of examples.
No, we still lost the game, also. Should be noted.
And that was his only goal in 6
And didn't win that season. And didn't win.
I don't have any other loose ends. I do have our modalities wrap up though of our unfortunate weekend.
Oh
so
no,
I'll just get
please
to that.
no.
Just before you get into it, I'm Team Pedro Marks just because I was speaking about my Football Manager save earlier. He's my main striker and he is unbelievably good. In his first season in the top flight, he scored 24 goals in the league.
Jesus,
which is
bro,
crazy.
That would make you the top scorer in the league this season.
Yeah.
He was my main penalty taker as well. But I'll tweet the stats afterwards. But it was actually insane. But yeah, Camacho and Marks is the future, man. And I've got Kikas as well on the left side. He used to play for Belenenses, who is also a baller too. So, anyway.
Pedro Marquez, eh? I like that.
Pedro Marks.
I love it.
All right, so I'll just get the bad stuff out of the way first. Volleyball got swept by Benfica, and volleyball got swept by Benfica in the title game, as always, right? So we finished second, Benfica are champion. Rare L for goalball, lost in the final to Porto. 5 straight league titles, multiple European titles, lost in the final to Porto. So goalball, no. See, Penta Campeão is 5 champions, which was, I think Porto was, or they were chasing the Penta at one point. I don't even, is 6 straight even called? I don't know.
Hexa?
I don't know. Hexta Campeão? Like, I guess the Hepta. Yeah, the Hepta failed. So no Hepta. And ladies lost 3-1 to Benfica at the Luz. It's not official, but Benfica are basically champions. Actually, no, they are champions.
No,
they're officially champions. They got their fucking medals. Yeah, so I think we're 9 points behind. Yeah, they're champions. Missed a PK. Swag goalie just had our number the whole fucking game. It was just not happening for us. And we conceded 2 pretty early. And, yeah, that was about it. Unfortunate. Handball lost to Porto 29-28. Porto basically champions in handball as a result of that result as well. Hockey, win against Juventud Vienna 3-2. Futsal, win against Candoso 5-0. Futsal is like the modality that goes the latest into the summer, I feel like, and it's going to be playoffs. So these league games, just for seeding. Same with basketball. We've been catching a lot of L's in the second phase of the league round, but it was just for seeding. We still finished second. We still got the second seed. So, I mean, Gervante's back now, so it's fine. Like all those 5-6 L's we took, whatever. Basketball won the Portuguese league for the cup for the 3rd time in a row. So we beat Imortal in the quarters, then we beat Porto, and then we beat Benfica. So we beat 2 of our biggest rivals, won the Portuguese cup. So that was kind of like the saving grace of the weekend in an otherwise unfortunate weekend for results, including the seniors officially losing the title as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I
Just
think
one
that's...
thing on the one thing on the modalidades with the women's that we've seen that was actually at least nice to see was Ana Borges and Jessica Silva, sort of embracing after the game.
National team teammates, right?
Exactly. And friends. I think,
Yeah.
Jessica Silva was even saying, like, this is one of her biggest references was Ana Borges. Jessica, who
was
just
injured and didn't play.
Exactly. And Jessica, who just came from Lyon. I think she won the Champions League in Lyon, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, though.
I think she rode Pine, but I think she
came from Lyon. Yeah.
But yeah, she did ride Pine. So. You're right. But yeah, it was nice to see that this could exist in Portugal. Sporting fans were in the Benfica stadium for the most part that I understand. Nothing happened, so maybe it's the
and a good attendance. It was like 10K, something like that. 14K like that, maybe. Yeah.
That's like 14, average for Sporting.
Nothing was official.
Yeah, a better attendance than some of our home games. So yeah,
exactly. So yeah, that was nice to see that culture could exist in Portugal. I understand it's the ladies' game, so maybe the cultures are a bit different, but it's at least a good fair play moment that the ladies are continuing to show the men, how to act basically. So that was nice, especially seeing that there was an incident at the Porto Benfica game. Somebody Darwin pushed one of the Porto elements that came to the field to celebrate with Zaidu. So it's nice to see that at least some of that shit exists,
Yeah, also, they got to chill with the Zaidu hype, bro. Because let's just say Zaidu skies that shot, which I thought he was going to.
I thought so too.
They still win the title with his 0-0, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, he didn't do shit, bro. They're like, winning title goal. It's like, bro, that literally was not the winning title goal.
But they're still beating them.
I'm not giving it to him. That is not the winning.
I'll let him have it. He was at Milan Dienst or whatever 2 seasons ago. We'll let him have it.
He's about to be Sam's second favorite player with that picture with Paulinho.
He is a meme player for them, probably scorer. Of all the players on their team, he's definitely not one of the more likely. But yeah, I'm salty about that a little bit.
I blame Tarat. You see him just stop running. She was like, nah.
He's fuck it.
I
Fuck
was
that.
fuming. I was fuming. I'm not a Benfica supporter. I was watching with my cousin. He was just like, Taram,
Yeah, I was
what are you doing?
Fuming when the goal was just
Stops running.
Me too.
Thought that
We
that was
need to get Roy
impossible.
Keane somehow to react to this. Imagine his reaction at that. Have to
In all
I did
fairness,
like I
he's
did
like
like that it
34.
was sorry. I did
on.
like that it was João Mario that was just like the last man back to kind of see the goal going
Yeah,
in, and
I like that as well.
I love that
Worth-
part of it.
Over his
Wor-
head.
absolutely legendary.
I am
levels
so
of
sad to see
worthlessness.
that.
Yeah, I
No, I
hope he
got-
gets
I got
into our loan
tweet of that as
carousel.
well, so.
He's signed like a 6-year deal, so he's gonna be in the Benfica loan carousel. I hope.
I think he's one of the
His
highest
most
earners as
expensive
well.
contract as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome.
highest.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
awesome.
Good.
Amazing. Love it.
2026.
Thank you, George Jesus.
Sorry, last thing too. The fact that Sporting last season went to go celebrate on the streets in the middle of a pandemic, and everybody was worried about, what about the hospitalization?
Dude, remember
what about
they
the
were like
deaths?
trying to blame like a 1% rise in cases on like the title celebration.
And there's more deaths between Portistas killing each other than there was fucking with us winning the league. Amazing.
True.
Love it.
We have one confirmed fatality from the 1 and 0 from the other. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
on
I
that
had to
happy
throw- I had
note.
to throw some shade. On a happy note.
Thank
R.I.P.
you
though.
all. Yeah, rest in peace. Thank you all for joining. I think we'll probably do one more podcast next week, and that will be it from us for this season at least. Might do a few transfer specials here and there, but I think that will probably be it next week. But if you want to go follow any of the guys on Twitter, you can follow Danny there. You can follow myself here. You can follow Kevin there. And last but certainly not least, follow Chris there. And don't forget to follow all of our pages, Sporting160EN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple iTunes podcast. Again, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you soon.